right. Today is Thursday, August 19th, 9:02. Why don't we start with roll calls, City Clerk?
Councilmember Soria. Councilmember Carbasi. Councilmember Arias.
Present.
Councilmember Maxwell.
Present.
Councilmember Bredefeld.
Here.
Council Vice President Esparza.
Present.
And Council President Chavez.
Here. Councilmember Bradford, do you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everyone could please rise.
Salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Who is our Reverend that's going to lead us in our invocation today? I didn't see that on the agenda. Do we have that?
Yes, we have Reverend Robin Matthew Johnson from Wesley United Methodist Church. She's on.
All right. Everyone could please remain standing. Please lead us in the invocation.
Oh God, I ask your many wondrous blessings upon these leaders of our community, the mayor, Fresno City Council, other city staff, and guests. For Mayor Jerry Dyer, council members Esmeralda Soria, Mike Carbasi, Miguel Arias, Tyler Maxwell, President Luis Chavez, Gary Bredefeld, and Vice President Nelson Esparza, as they perform their call to serve. We know how hard it is to be a public servant in the first place, but today in this time of COVID, it is more difficult than ever. In so many ways, the world we knew it is gone. Just when we were hoping the pandemic was over, the hardships and uncertainty continue. Out of control wildfires and other misfortunes add to our troubles. Almighty Creator, our city council, like each of us, needs your strength and guidance to guide them as they prepare to walk into the new normal to come. May our hearts be unified in you, God, more than ever. May the tender moments of seeing someone again in person be all the more rich and treasured. May we stay safe and healthy from the virus, particularly for all the children, teachers, and staff returning to school now. God, help us from this time of trial. The thing about you, God, is that you give us hope, that no matter how petty our differences and discord, you unify us into one people. Fresno is wonderfully diverse, rich in history, and ripe with possibilities. Repeat now after me. We thank you, God. In light of this, we ask special blessings upon Major NyaijLooj for his courage and leadership in protecting American soldiers in Laos and for ensuring equality for disadvantaged families from Southeast Asia, here in Fresno and beyond. Repeat now after me. We thank you, God. It is also with great gratitude, God, that we celebrate the blessings of our Muslim brothers and sisters here today as a statement of both our faith and understanding that our God is a great God, a God of all people. We acknowledge and uphold the foundations of our American values, freedom of religion, and love for all faiths, identities, and nationalities. We thank you, God. And on a personal note, I'll confess that I'm a new Fresno resident, having just moved here to become pastor of the Wesley United Methodist Church. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity last Saturday to participate with Tyler and many others in the mayor's citywide community cleanup. It was a blast, and we accomplished much. Repeat now after me. We thank you, God, and let the people say, Amen.
Thank you for that, Reverend. A couple of housekeeping issues before we move on to approving the agenda. We will actually, we've closed temporarily the council chambers to the public, but they're still welcome to participate via Zoom. We also have interpreters available that will be also part of our CMAC televised and Zoom setup. We just wanted to make sure that for the benefit of the public, they understood that. We will be reevaluating that on a meeting by meeting basis, and hopefully we can open up soon and have our folks coming back into the chambers. We did have a ceremony today for Major NyaijLooj that we're going to have to modify, but we will obviously postpone that reception that we were having for Major Vang in the very near future. Conditions permitting, obviously. With that, let's go on to approving the agenda. City Clerk, can you please read the items that have been requested to be removed from the agenda and the changes?
Yes. We have a special meeting notice that was posted for today. One item under closed session, real property negotiation with UMC campus. Another item was under consent calendar, approve a resolution exercising city's right under the Surplus Land Act for UMC campus. That was again posted for today's special meeting. The following items are being requested to be removed from the agenda with no return date. Item 2C, file ID 21-23176, related to State Clearinghouse. That is being requested to be removed from the agenda with no date by Councilmember Arias. The following items are being requested to be removed from the agenda to a future date. Item 1E, file ID 21-23157, actions related to the purchase of emission reduction credits is being removed and continued to September 2nd by Councilmember Arias. File ID 21-23231, item 1J, resolution designating the city manager as the signature authority for downtown Fresno Property Business Improvement District is being requested to be removed from the agenda and continue to September 2nd by the city manager's office. However,
City Clerk, just a clarification, I've spoken to the City Manager's office and we'll keep the item on the agenda and we'll make some corrections when the item comes up.
okay, so
Which item was that, Councilmember Arias?
It's the downtown PBID.
1J.
So we will be pulling that to consent.
We'll keep that on for contested consent. All right.
And then the following changes are the following changes to the agenda were typos. Item 1, the 1:30 p.m. item reads 2F. It actually should read item 2I. The 6 p.m. should read 2J. That was just corrections. The following items are being requested to be pulled from the consent calendar to the contested consent. File ID 21-23162, item 1F, actions pertaining to solar and energy storage project is being requested by Councilmember Arias. File ID 21-23112-02, item 1L, approval of the reappointments for Paul and Jason to the Historic Preservation Commission and the reappointment of Michael McDonald to the Civil Service Board is being requested to be moved to contested consent by Councilmember Carbasi and Arias. File ID 21-23165, item 1N as in Nancy, approve the project-specific tax sharing agreement is being requested to be moved to contested consent by Councilmember Arias. File ID 21-23200, item 1P, as in Paul, actions pertaining to vehicle miles traveled is being requested to be moved to contested consent by Councilmember Carbasi. File ID 21-23175, item 1S as in Sam, reject all proposals for the annual tree trimming is being requested to move to contested consent by Councilmember Arias. File ID 21-23203, item 1W, approve an agreement with MLA Green Inc. is being requested to be moved to contested consent by Councilmember Arias. File ID 21-23166, item 1AA, resolution authorizing submissions of applications related to congestion mitigation and air quality is being requested to move to contested consent by Councilmember Carbasi. And file ID 21-232144, item 1DD, resolution allocating a portion of the card room is being pulled to contested consent by Councilmember Arias. And file ID 21-2321888, or excuse me, item 1FF, award a contract for the redistricting is being requested to be moved to contested consent by Councilmember Carbasi. Those are all the changes I have.
All right, Councilmember Bradfield, you said you had a couple of items.
Yeah, there's several that already have been pulled that I was going to pull, but the only one was I.
One I?
Yeah.
All right, one I, and that's to contested consent.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Maxwell, any items for you on your end to pull? Thank you for that. Councilmember Arias, any on top of your 15 that you pulled additionally?
No, the whole agenda has been pulled. So.
Thank you. Vice President, any items?
Yeah, plenty on the plate already.
All right. Councilmember Carbasi?
Let's save some time. Let's move 1L to the next meeting.
All right. Let's have 1L, and that will get postponed to September 2nd, I believe. Councilwoman Soria, any items for you to pull? Councilwoman Soria? No. Okay, okay, but Councilmember Arias pulled one out. Okay, Councilwoman Soria? You good? All right. Thank you for that. I don't think there's any more items to pull, but
Excuse me, Council President.
Yes.
Oh, pardon me. We apologize for the late notification to City Clerk, but staff did request that item 1W regarding Studio MLA Green be removed from the agenda entirely.
Mm-hmm.
We do not yet control the land, and under our TCC agreement with the state, the council unfortunately cannot take action today.
That's fine. We'll remove that.
So 1W just completely removed from the. All right, Councilman Reyes, I think you had pulled item, correct?
Thank you, Director. That's the reason I pulled it. I wanted to make sure that if we didn't yet have closed up escrow, then it was a premature item. But thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
All right, and for the benefit of the public, we're going to approve the agenda also with the special meeting, closed session and open session related to the UMC. And for the record, I'm going to enter a recusal on the special items, both the closed session and the open session with UMC. Due to my proximity of living close to the property. I believe, Councilwoman Soria, you're going to also enter a recusal for a couple items. I think it's items 2D, 3B, and 5G. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think 1DD, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, City Clerk, you got that entered into the record. All right, any other items or modifications, Clerk, that we have?
There are no other additional items.
Council President, I have one modification.
All right.
On the 1:30 p.m. Timed item, the workshop, it previously read 2F. It is now 2I. Want to go ahead and make a motion that we eliminate discussion among the council on that item.
So it'll just be informational, and we'll just receive the
correct, just as we did with the last prospective buyer for that property. So I want to make sure that that is not a public discussion, but just a presentation on the end of the private party.
All right.
I'll second that,
noted.
Council President.
Second noted. Second, City Council Attorney, do we need to take a vote, or can we just do that by?
Yes, that's essentially a motion to modify debate. It would take 5 votes to approve that motion.
All right. For the sake of time, I will definitely be supportive of that. Councilmember Carbasi?
So the question I have is, so you're requesting that we just get the presentation, not have any discussion, and the rationale for that is what?
My rationale is that this is ultimately we're going to discuss this in closed session, just as we did with the last presentation, last workshop. So I made this motion last time. I think we all approved. We agreed that we would discuss it in closed session. The presentation, the workshop is for the benefit of the public.
Okay. So when would we have that discussion then publicly about any proposal that is being presented to the council? I mean, we have the closed session, they make a public presentation, we're saying we don't talk about it, and when would that public discussion take place?
Well, when and if it comes back to council for approval of a contract, then there would definitely have to be a public discussion.
Okay.
All right, motion was made. Second, any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries. Duly
Council
noted,
President?
1:30 p.m. We'll have no discussion. Yes.
I do have one additional item to pull for contested consent, 1M, as in Mike.
Mm-hmm. 1M as in Mike. We'll add it to the long list that we already have. All right, with everything read and the special items and the recusal entered in the record, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? All right.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Soria, seconded by Vice President Esparza. Any opposition? Seeing none, motion carries. All right, we will now go on to our ceremonial presentations. And today we're honoring a very prominent leader in our community, Major NyaijLooj Bang. I believe Meyer Bang is joining us along with the Major and will work with us. Do we have that set up already, City Clerk?
Yes, we do. Mike,
All right.
if you want to go ahead and unmute.
I'll go down there.
Have a microphone?
Marco, the microphone behind you.
All right, good morning. We're honoring today a very prominent leader in our community. As many of you know, Major NyaijLooj Bang has been a staple in the Hmong community leadership. He's the president of SGU, as many of you know, the Families and Veterans. And today we wanted to honor him. We did have originally planned a pretty big ceremony, but given the circumstances with the pandemic, and just erring on the side of caution, we decided to postpone that reception. We're still going to have that reception for the Major Bang here in a couple of weeks, conditions permitting. But we did want to take the opportunity to honor him today for the great work that he's done in our community. As many of you know, he's been really a strong advocate for not just the Hmong community, but our community at large, whether it's in the business community, whether it's in the educational world. And we have a quite extensive long resume. As many of you know, when Fresno received a large immigrant refugee population back in the 80s, these were veterans from the Vietnam War that really were true allies and friends of our military overseas. Major Vang led a platoon of about 400 soldiers that were there to rescue our fallen pilots in the parts of Vietnam, Laos. And so after that happened, and we're seeing a lot of those same images now for other countries where our military is pulling out, we did not leave them behind. We worked with them because they were our partners, and they came to this country, have been very, very successful in being here in Fresno and part of our community. One of the things I want to highlight is that I had a chance to work with the Major when I was on the Fresno Unified School Board. And, all of the successes that we've had in the Hmong community, whether it's been naming an elementary school after a prominent Hmong leader, General Vang Pao. Very proud to have that in Southeast Fresno. I know the mayor, the police chief, and you're very helpful in that effort as well, as well as my colleagues as well. And, that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That happens because we have our leaders that are advocating and making sure that the Hmong community is represented, that they have a voice at the table. Who would have thought when our, immigrant community from the Hmong community came that we would now have Hmong language being taught at every single high school in Fresno Unified. That also didn't happen by accident. It was because of the work that Major Vang had been pushing through. And here in the city of Fresno, we've done a number of things to honor our community. And again, Major Vang has been very instrumental in those efforts, where recently, I believe last year, we named our new police station after our fallen officer, Pia Vang, that we'll be actually working on making a ceremony and putting the lettering on that police station here pretty soon. And then also one of the things that we're really proud of as well is that we had the first bilingual Hmong sign in the city of Fresno that now sits on Kings Canyon corridor right by the fairgrounds, because that's the home of one of the, actually it is the world's biggest Hmong celebration of culture, food, tradition, language, and we're very proud to host that in Southeast Fresno. As many of you know, the fairgrounds brings hundreds of thousands of people every single year, and all that work has been because of Major Vang's work in our community. And so today, we're really here to celebrate him, to thank him for the work that he's been doing in our community, that I know he's going to continue to be doing. And I just want to personally thank him, him and his family, and wish him well, wish him good health, so that he keeps advocating for our community. And like I said, the work that he's done in the fields of business, in the fields of education, in the fields of just celebrating our diversity and our culture, I think speaks a lot for not just the Hmong community, but our community at large, and celebrating that diversity that we have. And so with that, Mayor, I know you wanted to say a few words about Major Vang.
There you go, we're switching now. Barbie doll hairnets, that's what they're used for. I want to keep my comments brief. I do want to say a special thanks to Major Vang for his friendship over the years. Been acquainted with him for more than 25 years. Had the privilege of working with him and General Vang Pao for a number of years when we hosted, as we still do, the Hmong New Year right here in Fresno. But not only was he a leader in Vietnam and leading the troops to rescue our American soldiers who were shot down in the Vietnam War, but also a leader here in our own community for many, many years, and continues to be that role model for us. And so I want to say thank you to Major Vang for his friendship, for his leadership, and also his family, who has sacrificed greatly to allow them to be such a big part of our community here in Fresno. He's always stressed education and in our youth, and so I appreciate that greatly. So appreciate it, great honor, and great recognition today.
Get your Barbie hairnet back, Mayor. With that, we do have, as many of you know, Meyer Vang, we do have the Major with us, joining us via Zoom. City Clerk, do we want to punch up our folks so they can speak? We have them up on the screen. Major Vang, Meyer, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, so the Major is going to speak first, and I'm going to translate, okay?
Great, thank you, Meyer.
Lúc này vậy lúc đó nó phụ lúc đó nó đâu còn nó ra hành mong nên chỉ tháo tiền đâu này cái tên là cái chữ ở chữ dây chữ rò có cái trong Fresno rồi cái là California các hành mới tổ lúc nào vậy lúc đó nó phụ lúc đó nó dùng thì vụ dùng xe cơ cái xe này dùng xe thì cái tàu tour từ cái xe nó vì cho cái mua cái hành này America có mua cái tờ cái chơi có mua cái tỷ phá cái bộ đồ cho học tham Việt Nam cái tàu tour trong cái xe nó tour trong cái xe nó là cái chuyện này tour lao cả cho cái mấy tôi nhỏ to cỡ tới tour bị chặt tour thì tour cỡ to tới nhưng lúc nào cái sự kiểm tra là chỉ cho nên cũng nó bỏ thiết bị rồi cho này ta hạt cho này tầm lúa cho khá là sát cản để cái sự mong một cho ba cho Americaของทางเวียดนามเนาะcái dùng xe hàng thì cái cho cái để mình tung nhỏ cho cái channel nó để mình tung nhỏ cho sự cỡ đó rồi nó không cần rồi nó cho chỉ hay khoản mê và khoản lo họ chỉ đi không số một chỗ school board một chỗ thì là chỉ đi không số một chỗ thua giá thua giả để tầm luôn khoản mê một chỗ khoản lo cái gì supervisor không phải maintain nó là cái mua cho mà ở chỗ rồi họ phải hay là America nó cái mua cái dân chẳng cái chỗ đó cái chỗ nó mua democracy cái kia chỉ phải mua chỉ phải hay là từ bây giờ cũng một bằng sự của tàu thì cái hay là America là cái sâu là chỉ hay ngay ở sau đi cả cái sâu là cho nên nó mà lúc nào cũng chơi với tàu rồi cũng sẽ nên cái là cũng chăm nhỏ cái cũng có đẹp chứ cái chỗ đó cái chỗ nó bây giờ là tôi cỡ chế mình tôi nhiều sẽ là tao là tao cả chỉ có lo nhiều hơn mình còn nói gì khỏi dùng xe cơ rồi ta lên đó hay cho cả xin nó ở bên tất kiến chơi nó cái hành nên mình cứ cái gì mà bây giờ bây giờ họ lực nhà hàng đó là cái hành này America 我找只要给被扒了了，把被18 OK， 老母找了些人喏，被这容易喏，被这被还能多找了个人喏，也呢被这有，但是就没有这这个这当中的老有 business man woman， 个做家做家和电车，被这做到那就得生了，被这被这到也被安那America。 bỏ cá bỏ lư là họ nói vậy khỏi dùng xe chập lời thì tôi chập lời mà giờ cái chỉ thành được nó có giờ tụ cho cái sự đời cho nên mình cả của cho cái sự đời cái gì lúc nào cái chuyện mua lúc này của nó cái chợ America giờ đây nó cái chợ mà na mua cái chợ cái chợ cái chợ mua như mua tia mua là lúa 我给这给这当成列队了，人个家没干的之一，那被用些个我都被摸乱除了，被摸路都对了，对啊那路大被被天摸到梦这个早的成了，那被这个都有啊，被个这个这被到那路了个，考tìm rồi考些做啥做呀，被这给车给你地目。 rồi họ dùng họ cảnh tính mà thành phần ít chữ hài được cái sự đó để nó chỉ nhỏ đó thì tên gần cái tên gì mà lúc nó hay cho cái đó nó chữ America nữa cái sự đó chủ bao giờ thì cái hai năng tôi cho lúc trước chờ mình cả nó thế đâu lúc trước chờ bây giờ nó cho chú lâu thì tôi cho ba tổng cảm Việt Nam cứ cho ta một chỉ cho ta
I love you. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. Take your time.
Mà pha được bây giờ nó cho em cả nó. Nhớ lúc từ chỉ một bây giờ nó cả rồi. Anh nên là mình cả. Giờ chủ lũ cái hai mốc á.
Oh yeah, I'll try to. Okay, all right. So.
Chính trị thầu gần là để pha cái hai năng kia để mình cứ mình generation chọn đây là một cái làm đó generation dẫn到被hai năng bị cản nó ít là chỉ cơ thì我感有到感我给贡献工资我给cái hai năng sau cho tôi qua là thì我sẽ tiền chỉ mua cho thịt cho ta này là mà anh em mình cả nghe chủ chân tập cái anh em mong gì cái quá chỉ cái tiền cái chỉ là cả cái cái nền lưu cái mình cứ mình gọi generation nó đâu là cái tổng tiền nó cái điều đó phải bị xử lý cái rồi các cái anh em dùng cái thời mình cả nó thì ở trong đầu tôi cái lưu cái tiền cho sản phẩm dùng nó ở cái từ công phòng phụ trợ cái nó cái từ nó sửa trong của nó một đồ tại vì một tổng tiền nó là gì đó cái phần nó phải nên rồi thì cái anh em không thể mấy cả nó để nó tìm cái chỉ rồi chỉ cơ nó chỉ cơ mà chỉ cơ trong tổng tiền là một cái công sức của dùng các các khu nó thì bây giờ công sức công tư ok thì một ba lúc để chờ nó là cái lúc là cái chỉ mua cái một thứ thì cái hàng mong nhau lúc để chờ từ thì lúc để chờ là cái lúc từ nhau lúc chờ là trong sinh hoạt thành thêm một cái nhiều những từ chỉ mua cái cho lâu nó lỡ là cái cho mình từ lâu luôn cái cho mình mong dân tàu thì cái nhà chủ ấy cho mình rồi thì thao tập cái đến từ mình rồi cho sang tới từ nhà tận đây là một cái nó ta đồng số lượng cho tụ chế sang từ đó để cho là phụ nữ sửa hay là lúc sang nó không có thứ đó để cái sang mong cho đó để cho là cái bệnh chủ yếu là chủ nhập mong chỉ cái tụ tận đó để cho số lượng cho sẽ cần tới cái lao cả để tập mới những một chế của bé này là tập đây là nó một số lượng nó tăng lên cũng nó
All right, I'm going to translate. Just give me 1 second.
Good morning, Meyer.
Good morning. Tough speech. So I had to prepare a translation, but we added some stuff, so bear with me. And so just give me a second. Tough to follow. How about that? Good morning. I am Major NyaijLooj. I want to thank Mayor Jerry Dyer, Council President Luis Chavez's team, and City Council members for this special recognition. Also, I would also like to extend a thank you to Congressman Jim Costa, Assemblymember Dr. Joaquina Rambla, Assemblymember Jim Patterson, and County Supervisor Sal Quintero for also recognizing me today. It's truly an honor and a blessing to be here today with all of you. Today, I'm joined with my wife, Kamoa, and my daughter, Mao, in her husband's house with all my kids. And also joining me today is my best friend, Song Yapao, and his wife, and also Councilmember Blanc Zhang. I also want to extend joining me today virtually our Hmong community leaders all over California and state on YouTube, on CMAC, and on Zoom. Through my life experiences, I have believed that in America, the future belongs to everyone. It's democracy, it's equity, equality are progressively incorporated into our American laws and constitution that makes this great nation I call home. The prosperity, our Hmong kids continue to we pay for them, and they continue to prosper in this great country. I appreciate the time and effort that many of you have given to the Hmong Americans to adjust to the American culture, the society today. We have contribution grown. We have leaders like Councilmember Blanc Zhang, City Council. We have Senator like Senator Li Feng in Minnesota. We have many young women who are also elected official in Sacramento, Mai Wing, and we also have one new elected in Oakland. And we have many, many leaders in all over the states that have contributed to our great nation, the United States. And I want to thank you all for, building this great nation to accept in our Hmong community. We have become professionals. We have become doctors, lawyers, community leaders, professors, business owners. We have become good citizens of this great America. And before I forget, the most important person who came and who paid the war for all of us, for our Hmong community, is the late General Wayne Powell, who I highly respect, and who came and, our United States CIA, who recruited us in the 60s, and who had given an opportunity for our young Hmong soldier. We were very young. Some of us were 10, 12, 19, 20, and we participated in the Vietnam War, and it's called the Secret War. The Hmong people, its history is very tiny. Very little people know of us. And after my generation, including veteran Harold and community leaders, I have faith that our government policymaker will remember the Hmong community heritage and legacy. and echo our sacrifices for the United States of America, protecting many American pilots so they can safely return home. I hope that this diverse nation will learn and understand the Hmong people contribution and generations to come. One day, my grandchildren, your grandchildren, will learn and read about my Hmong people's history in textbooks and reserve a national holiday to remember the Hmong people of their sacrifices and their contribution to the United States during the Secret War and Vietnam. This message is for our Hmong community. As our older generation is leaving, we want you to all remember that this world, the United States, is the #1 nation that paid the world for you all. You continue to grow, continue to learn, be educated, continue to make a difference in the community, and to be prosper. Don't give up. Continue to listen to the late General Ring Powell, all his speeches he made throughout the year, and leaders like me, Major NyaijLooj, who have continued to educate and continue to be at the table so you all can have a voice at the table. We are paving the world for you. We paved the road for you. Now it's your turn to pave the road for your kids and everyone's kids. As we continue this journey, I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I appreciate and thank you for your time today. And more than ever, this world is challenging and pandemic is crazy. So we appreciate our leaders like you who are here today to make decisions that impact our community and the quality of life that we live. And more so, we've been here for 40 years and we're going to stay. We're not leaving. And so we want to just take this opportunity for Fresno citizens to know that we have contributed and we will continue to be a part of this nation. And again, thank you. I think this is it. Wait with me. I want to thank Councilmember Blanchon and Mainza for the support and their dedication. It's a very emotional day for my our great leader, Major NyaijLooj, as Councilmember Luis Chavez and the Mayor Jerry Darry mentioned earlier. Great contribution. This is something great to our community. We continue to prosper like leaders like General Ring Powell and my great uncle who is Major NyaijLooj, who have been here for us. They have been providing us the pay with very little English. They came to America and they opened doors and built nonprofit organization to support veterans and families. And today, he is still the current president of SGU Veterans and Family. And just so much gratitude for his preservation, for his knowledge, his wealth in the community. He is the first person to be out there when we call for support. He was there when 9/11 happened. He came and rallied community leaders, and they all came together to support 9/11, raised over $100,000. He has educated our community to vote. He was our representative and our community in the Southeast Asian community to continue to vote and vote and vote. It's so important that he expressed earlier that I forgot is that he wanted our community to continue to vote because being at the table and it's important that we come to America. This is a space. This is our time to vote, to make it right, and to make it right, and to be able to be at the table to make decisions. Not just that, he has paid a lot of role for all of us as educator, as elected official. He supported Councilmember Blanchon, Councilmember Wangwanathua, Trustee Brandon Bay had also supported our leader Hao Ying, and then also our former trustee Dr. Tony Bay, who also is a leader like him. They're a one-of-a-kind Hmong leader who continue to be a part of the American history and will continue to live on as our legacy. And we hope in the future that there will be a national day for our Hmong community, and so we can so they can learn about our history, just like Dr. Luther King. And not just that, just the leadership he has prosper and continue to bring to us at the table, continue to challenge young generation like me, myself, my kids, to continue to live the dream, the American dream, that everyone come here, they migrate. We are refugees, we're immigrants, we're all came from a different part of the country, and now this great nation we call home. So I just want to really just, again, great gratitude. Thank you for the city council member, the mayor, and all elected officials today who gave recognition to Major NyaijLooj. And as we continue the work here in the community, it's never done. Fresno being the poorest city, second poorest city in America, and our air quality is just continue to not being the fourth. And so we hope to bridge and communicate and be at the table, have conversation to support south of Fresno and west side, east side, and to ensure that we are equity and equality as our north side family, who are also a part of our life, who continue to support us too. So thank you.
Lý là ở địa, ở trên bộ trình đó mà, trên vùng tàu hải đồ Jim Costa, cái chùa không biết mà. Yeah, usually dies. Ở đây là địa, chính phủ trên này cũng lỡ mà, để dù cả. Ở tụi nào, ban thiệt sẽ kiến ra được cái là của tụi cả.
All right, so last I want to leave with is that our before the late General Wayne Powell passing, he expressed that he want our congressional Jim Costa, congressman, and elected official, to our mayor. At that time, I think it was former Mayor Alan Autry to former Mayor Ashley Surgeon, and the current Mayor Jerry Dyer, to continue to support our Hmong veterans and our family, and know that we are in this great nation and we continue to strive here. And we hope that when we call on you, you continue to support our efforts and, make us a part of your table in your discussion, because we are a part of this city. Thank you. All right, so we're good. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Meyer, for that, and thank you, Major NyaijLooj Vang, for your work and your continued effort in our community. We appreciate you. We wish you and your family health and well-being. With that, City Clerk, can you read the proclamation?
Whereas Major NyaijLooj Vang was born on October 12, 1939 in Tangpong, Nongit, Sengkawing, Laos. And whereas in 1957 he married Li Yang and later married Kao Mua in 1972. He has 13 children, 51 grandchildren, and 21 great-grandchildren. And whereas in 1961, the CIA Special Activities Division recruited him to the United States Secret War in Laos during the Vietnam War to support and combat against communist troops and North Vietnamese Army intruders into Laos, and to indirect traffic along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That year, he was promoted to sergeant by General Vang Pao. And whereas in 1971 and 75, he attended Nam Phang Dang, Thailand, Special Advanced Operational Military Training. Major NyaijLooj Vang oversaw a platoon of 400 Hmong soldiers, and their assignments were to rescue American pilots during the Vietnam War when their planes were shot down. Bombing South Vietnam, he was promoted to major and transferred to southern Passet, Laos, to support the Royal Laos armies to fight the Vietnamese troops and win that battle. And whereas in 1980, Major NyaijLooj Vang's family received asylum to come to the United States and resettle in Missoula, Montana, simulating the new American culture was challenging, but with new opportunities. After 2 years, his family moved to Santa Ana, California. Then he relocated with the rest of his extended family members to Fresno in 1983. And whereas Major NyaijLooj Vang is a well-respected leader in the community for his courage and leadership in protecting American soldiers during the secret war in Laos. In America, he worked tirelessly and continuously with the late General Vang Pao in advocacy, ensuring equality for socially disadvantaged families, veterans, women, and children, social justice for all communities, and opportunities for Southeast Asian families in America. Major NyaijLooj has received numerous certificates and special recognition for his compassion in helping Hmong and Leo veterans, family relations, and his leadership in the community. Now therefore be it resolved that we, Mayor Jerry Dyer, and the Fresno City Council do hereby proclaim August 19, 2021 to be Major NyaijLooj Day.
Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Meyer. Appreciate you translating. Now we will move on to our next proclamation of American Muslim Appreciation and Awareness Month, and the sponsors are Councilmember Arias, Sparsa, and Maxwell.
Thank you, Council President. I see if we can allow Ms. Sukaina Hussein to be a panelist.